so much. He put his hands on your waist, gripping you tightly, and moved his against yours. You lifted your arms and put your hands around his neck, pulling him closer. Jungkook, you look so hot in this dress, and I hated the way every man was staring at you in that hall. He mumbled against your neck. You froze in your movements and breathed heavily. YN. Is that why you didn't like it how he cut you off? Jungkook. Yes, FK yes, he said, lifting himself up to look at you. Jungkook. You don't even know how much I hate it that you don't know how beautiful you are. Jungkook said, cupping your face in one hand and stroked his thumb over your swole 3N lips. YN. I didn't know. You said quietly. He smiled softly and dipped his head down to your neck. YN. Wait, so you were jealous of Jihan? You said breathily when you understood why he acted so coldly towards you after the dinner. Jungkook. Don't you dare put his name in your mouth again. He said, shutting you up by placing his index finger on your lips. Jungkook. There will be only one name you'll scream all night, and that is mine. He said, and traveling his hand over your body. Jungkook. YN I want you. YN. Make me yours. You pulled him on his neck and KSSED him. Jungkook was surprised when you said that, but he KSSED you back. He picked you up with his strong arms and walked over to the bed. He gently led you to the bed. You felt his hands unbuttoning your clothes that he was trying to remove. What you did is to help him to remove your clothes until you don't have it anymore. Jungkook was surprised of what you did. You saw him smirked and KSSED you again. Until you felt that he was going down and starting to KSS your N3CK and your call for our bond 3s. Then you felt his lips started to KSS every P4RT of your V***die. You just closed your eyes and let him do what he wants to do. You were catching your breath as you felt the plural 34 Sir 3. Little by little, your clothes were R3 meters V3D from you, and also from him. Until you both felt the warmth of your own bodies. You gripped on the pillow and 4RCH3D your back. Those sweet sounds were heard from you. Jungkook was adoring your wholeness by his soft touch and gentle KSSES. You saw yourself weak by the strength of his, and it melted you, and made you surrender your everything to him. He pinned down your arms on the bed, and he asked you to only look in his eyes. You slowly gasped as you felt him. You looked so S3 duck versus 3 light years beautiful in his eyes. He was also catching for his breath. He felt that moment made him crazy, as he saw the woman who was 3RN34th him. On the next day, you yawned and stretched your arms. It was way too comfortable to get up, so you wanted to turn around and keep sleeping, but you couldn't. Something heavy laid on your stomach which made it impossible for you to move. You groaned and opened your eyes, blinking a few times to see clearly. It felt like a million butterflies flew around in your stomach, when you noticed that Jungkook's bare arm was wrapped tightly around your figure. You suppressed a small smile seeing him lying on his stomach. His muscular back half covered by the sheets and his face nuzzled into the pillow underneath. His black hair was ruffled and sticking up into all directions. You tried to brush off his arm, but he wrapped his arm even tighter around your waist, pulling you closer to him. YN. Jungkook, I can't breathe. You said, trying to wake him up, and giggled because of his hair which tickled your neck. He groaned and turned towards you, not removing his arm and not opening his eyes yet, but he was already awake. YN. Please Jungkook. You whined, trying hard to lift his arm. He opened his eyes and pulled his lips up into a sweet smile. Jungkook. Good morning, beautiful. He said in his deep morning voice and loosened his grip around your waist, still keeping you close to him. YN. Good morning. You said, smiling back, and took a deep breath now that there wasn't such a heavy weight on your ribcage. Jungkook. Did you sleep well? He asked as you began playing with his hair. You hummed and blushed, remembering what happened between you last night. He looked up and pierced you with his dark orbs. Jungkook. Why are you blushing? He asked you teasingly, and you turned your face away to hide your redness. Jungkook. You're so cute. He mumbled and lifted himself to place a peck on your cheek. You smiled and giggled. YN. When is our flight today? You asked, spotting the sun already shining through the window into the hotel room. He furrowed his eyebrows and reached out his other arm to grab his phone. He checked the time and cursed. Jungkook. We're late, he said, pushing the sheets back and sat up. YN. Okay, I'm going to my room, take a shower and pack my things up. You said, getting up as well, and started collecting your things. Jungkook. Why? Why don't you go for a shower here? Jungkook asked, looking up and down your half-N4KD figure. YN. Huh, Jungkook, we don't have time for this. You tried to resist, even though it was hard not to look at his toned torso. He frowned and walked over to you, only in his boxer shorts, until he stood right in front of you. Jungkook. You're lost, baby, he whispered. Jungkook, snaking his arms around you, and connected his lips with yours in AP4SS, on 4T3KSS. Right when you wanted to deepen the KSS, he pulled away, making you bite your lip and narrow your eyes. Jungkook. I'll be at your room in half an hour. We need to be at the airport in an hour. He said, and you nodded. After you went for a shower and packed your suitcase, you heard a knock on your door. You were a little bit sad that this trip was over, because that meant everything would be back to normal. You enjoyed the time with him a lot, but he was still your boss, and you didn't know if a relationship was possible with him. He probably doesn't even want it to be more. You opened the door and smiled politely at him. Jungkook. Let's go, he said, and you followed him down the hallway. When you walked through the hotel lobby, all of a sudden he took your hand and intertwined his fingers with you. YN. Jungkook, what are you doing? You hissed, looking around, scared that someone might see you. Jungkook. I'm showing everyone that you're mine. Jungkook said, pulling you closer to him. You really didn't expect him to show affection towards you in public, and his words confused you even more. What words confused you even more? What did he mean that you were his? You put your bags into the trunk and got into the car. You stayed silent, thinking about what he just said. Jungkook. What are you thinking about? He broke the silence and looked at you from the side. YN. Jungkook, what you said earlier, did you mean it? You asked a avoiding his gaze because you were scared of what he might say now. The truth is, you liked him a lot, more than just having fun for a night. But you didn't know if he felt the same way. Jungkook, that you were mine? He asked, smiling at you sheepishly, and you nodded slowly. Jungkook, yes, I meant that, and if you don't believe me, maybe I can ask you out on a date. You widened your eyes and laughed happily. YN. Really, I mean, of course, I'd love that, you said and couldn't hold back your happiness. You leaned over to him and cupped up his cheeks in your hands, pressing a kiss on his lips. He laughed and took your hand into his again. Your moment of luck didn't last long when his phone started ringing. Jungkook. Yes, Jaeon. Jungkook speaking, he said, answering the call. Jungkook. What? This weekend already? It was supposed to be next weekend. Okay, if there's no other way, I'll meet them there. Jungkook. I'm sorry, YN. An important company event has to be moved forward. We'll meet my parents there, he said, looking at you with a tormented look. YN. We are going to meet them? You asked, widening your eyes. He has just asked you to go out on a date with him, and now you were supposed to meet his parents this weekend. Jungkook. Yes, I really want you to meet them, he said, looking sincerely into your eyes. YN. I'm not sure if that's such a good idea, you said, shifting in your seat. You really didn't feel comfortable with the idea. Right in that moment you reached the runway and the knot in your stomach tightened. Jungkook. Hey YN, he said, taking your hand again. Jungkook. That's okay. Don't worry, I won't force you. You exhaled deeply and squeezed his hand firmly. He knew that you were scared of the flight and he didn't want to push you any further. Jungkook. Come on, we can do this, he reassured you, and you got out of the car. You boarded the plane behind him and looked at him insecure. Jungkook. Do you want to sit on my lap? He asked, noticing your look, and smiled sheepishly. You nodded shyly and blushed slightly. You put your bag down and he took your hand, pulling you on his lap. You sat stiffly because you didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable. You felt already guilty because of your phobia, but he had other plans. He wrapped his arms around your waist and pulled you close to him, burying his face into the crook of your neck. Jungkook. You smell so good. He mumbled against your skin, and you smiled softly, feeling his lips brush over your shoulder. The butterflies in your stomach fluttered nervously. YN. So what's this company event anyway? You asked, trying to distract yourself from the impending takeoff. Jungkook. It's a gala dinner for all the CEOs of the companies we work with or wish to work with, he explained, rubbing your 𝚁''. Jungkook. And if you want we can make it a date, he suggested, winking at you. YN. And why would you think I'd want to go to a company dinner with you? You asked, teasing him a little bit. It felt good talking to him since it got your mind off the flight. Jungkook. Because you will be wearing a pretty dress, he said, smirking, and you laughed. YN. That's the reason why you want it to be a date, but why would I enjoy it? You said, rolling your eyes. Jungkook. Because I'll dance with you, he said. YN. Can you even dance? You asked in disbelief. Jungkook. Excuse me, I'm a true gentleman, of course I can dance, he said, touching your side to tickle you. You giggled and almost didn't notice how you took off. Almost. You got startled and held tightly onto him, resting your head against his chest. His calm breathing soothed you a bit. Jungkook. It's okay, he said, stroking your back and placed a gentle kiss on your hair. YN. You know what I still don't understand? Why did you take a taxi in the first place on the day we met? I'm pretty sure you have a personal driver. You said to distract yourself from your fear. Jungkook. You got me, he said, chuckling deeply. Jungkook. I wanted to keep this a secret until we get married. YN. What? Your eyes widened.